Corrupted Keep is going to be the first battleground, the first arena we visit. And Ketchup, do us the honors. Take it away. This is the QuakeCon 2021 Quake Champions Finals.
QuakeCon has been a weekend full of festivities, and it's all going to come down to this. Quake Champions at its absolute finest. As now we're checking things out from vengeur's point of view. That Doomslayer, the double jump, a berserk that you're definitely not going to see all that much, especially on this map, but it's the mobility that the double jump will always provide. Maybe not so much on Corrupted Keep, and especially seeing as the LG is a bit of a secret weapon against the Slayer. However, raisy, that flame strike, the deletion factor at that close range, already looking for some rockets to fight out there, but vengeur pastes him instantly. And importantly, on top of getting a clean frag, make that 2, got the flame strike out nice and early. So for 30 seconds, it's gone.
And might get a third one right here. He doesn't, but a lot of damage done. Raisy kind of negates the mega that he had just picked up. Vengeur, though, very low, had to rearm off of that. And interesting to see Vengeur and how he decided to handle that initial flame strike. He almost perfectly, Ketchup, hopped out of the way. It was like he saw it coming. He was waiting for it to come out. That was much different than what we saw in the matchup where Rafa was unfortunately the victim of several flame strikes. So Vengeur must have been watching that one and was keeping a close eye because it really seemed to pay off in that exchange there. 2-0 now. Both players looking at decent stacks. We're going to have a battle here in the mid. The LG damage from Vengeur comes out on top. And we talked a lot about unanswered damage here throughout the day, right? Anytime you could be doing damage and your opponent's not returning. Already we see Vengeur with 738 damage to the 296 of raisy. So just keep that in the back of your mind as we continue on here on Keep.
Vengeur really went out of his way to make sure that he picked up that light armor. You can really tell the aim of the game, keeping raisy as far behind as he possibly can. If he's stuck down on those lights, it becomes a bit more obvious where he might try and retreat to. And even though raisy did take the heavy, there's going to be nothing else to absorb if he takes a lot of damage in this next fight. Now, speaking of which, 10 seconds until heavy spawns. Vengeur is just looking, and I love the use of the double jump. This is exactly why the double jump can be so good! Commanding the heavy, and he gets another frag on the board, but guess what? No armor here, mate. I already took it. Uh-oh, he's on fire.
Is this what it feels? Oh, I guess maybe he
that was
didn't
definitely
realize.
intentional, yeah. If he wants to spawn quicker as the heavy's about to spawn.
You're right.
Oh my lord,
Right.
rip and tear until it's done! Slayer gets the berserk. That was actually the most impressive tactical self-frag that we've seen all weekend. It allowed him to be on heavy, Marcus.
It did, and the flame strike did a fair amount of damage, so he was going to be coming out of that one hurt anyway, but we're seeing the highest level of Quake Champions right now between these two. However, raisy having Vengeur trapped up at the top of the statue does finally get on the board, Ketchup, and 3 minutes into this matchup, and it is still anyone's game. Raisy coming in fast and hard with a big flame strike. And we do have a trade off of that one, which is going to be just as good at this point in the game.
The trade means that raisy's free to pick up the mega. If it was even a second earlier, then he would have been able to put out the flames. Again, for those that don't know, if you're on fire, whether it's Sorlag Spit, whether it's the flame strike flames, any kind of health you pick up will stop that damage over time straight away. And that's why the desperation to pick it up matters so much, especially in this situation. But it can cause these almost awkward encounters where, just like that, raisy looking to deny again, but the juggle! Oh my good lord!
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much that raisy could do. He was kind of trapped in the corner there, but Vengeur, being very, very patient, wasn't going to give up his position at all. Let him set it for a perfect lightning arc across the sky to give himself the 6th frag. And as we're about to hit the 4th minute, it's Vengeur who's been able to convert and snowball a few of these opportunities into more frags. Raisy certainly still playing well, but taking a quick look at the damage yet again, started to close that gap. Vengeur finally going to pick up some health there. Gets a little speed boost as well. And nicely done as he manages to get out of there. And that is one of those Vengeur things, like somehow surviving with very little health.
I watched that entire sequence from vengeur's point of view, and I got to tell you, it was a thing of beauty. Using the berserk, not necessarily for a speed boost. What it mostly does is put him at a set speed for a set time, right? So it's the best way of being able to escape the flames, but then that rocket jump to escape any and all danger, and he protects that lead, at least for now. the Flame Strike used entirely to deny. raisy wants to command this Mega, and by using that Flame Strike to deny space has given him more than one of these major items, that's for sure. But the rockets doing a lot of damage, and now low critically on the armor department. You can see vengeur, that rocket jump to push forward. He knows where his prey is. And with the 5-minute warning already ticking down there, this Italian stallion has one hell of an advantage. Looking to make it a bit more. That rocket didn't quite hit it.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that little frag because I don't think raisy intended to get bounced by those rockets, but one little tip, and unfortunately then raisy just taken a lot of damage there. vengeur off the spawn though, 7-2, still looking good. 5 minutes left to go. raisy looking for a way to break through and maybe try to stack a few of these frags into his favor. vengeur's going to find raisy once again, arcing that lightning across the sky. Doesn't do as much damage as it did before. In fact, vengeur a little bit low, giving away his position. raisy with a little bit of LG revenge there, catch up, and we're gonna see vengeur try to get out of there with a rocket jump, but not enough momentum. raisy easily lifting him up, making it 7-3. Might be able to get this conversion frag as well. Not quite, but one more frag for raisy.
Always a tricky position near LG on this map, often considered quite the no man's land, and now being able to stop the flames with the health, so I really don't think it matters that much. vengeur staying alive, but with this next objective, the Mega. These items have been staggered in between, and oh my good lord.
Wow.
Machine gun versus LG. Not used to seeing the machine gun win in that situation, but with it, oh, that was not intentional. That first one was at the start of the map, but that was not.
I think that just is literally the intensity of the game. I mean, things are moving a million miles an hour. Somehow, vengeur still coming out on top of that one. Has to be careful as raisy off of the spawn, starting to spam that machine gun. 5 frags now, and this is where we've been for most of the map. But raisy coming in into the red room with that LG. Does get, absolutely melted like the Wicked Witch, the West in a bucket of water is there, and then he's gone. 8-5 with 3 minutes left to go.
vengeur has used a lot more mobility-focused berserks than I think we've seen ever. You're not used to seeing Doomslayer use the berserk as much as he is, and there is a reason for that. You're stuck into that melee. There's no way you can cancel it. In many cases, he will just completely give up the frag. But I feel like at the very least, if he's dying using a lot of these berserks, then he's picking up hourglasses. If he's picking up the hourglasses, the flame strike is not going to be as readily available to raisy. But that said, there is plenty of time for raisy to still make this comeback. However, with rockets like that, it's going to be so much harder. Look at that combo, though. Deleted.
Reminiscent of a few times of the flame strikes that we saw melt Rafa mid-air. Another one comes out, but still 2 frags are needed. There's still plenty of time, especially on a map like Keep, and raisy needs those 2. Now, vengeur's hiding off in the corner. raisy just waiting for that Mega. And at this point, are we going to see vengeur go defensive? Not sure that he can. I mean, he can. He's vengeur, but is it the right decision? raisy is also going to pick up that heavy, meaning he's got full item cycle right now. And vengeur landing a rocket. raisy pulling out that LG. A lot of damage coming out. They do share quite a bit, though. And there the rocket and the flames come out. That's going to help raisy secure that Mega. And it might come down to the heavy as well. But raisy still needs to find 2 frags here in 90 seconds.
This is going to be a really sweaty moment here for vengeur because raisy is making the perfect call-outs on what vengeur wants to collect. The thing about the armors of which a frag goes down, and just like that, hang on a second, 1 minute, 15 seconds is all he needs for one more frag. Now vengeur, that flyby rocket could absolutely create the split down the middle. vengeur has to watch out, he's now stuck. The double jump gets him away from the flame strike.
He took a good amount of damage there, and we've got 1 minute left on the clock. The warning sounds, and vengeur gonna hit with some machine gun spam. 1 frag to take this to sudden death, 2 to win it. raisy's looking for an opportunity here. vengeur defending with those rockets. And raisy's gonna backtrack again. Grab that heavy. vengeur's got no armor stack at all, catch up. And it's going to come down to this last 30 seconds. Can vengeur play like the turtle?
Oh my God!
Or can raisy bring it back? Huge rocket mid-air in 30 seconds. raisy keeps being pushed back, but he is going to give it his all.
It would be a very vengeur way to win a map by getting 2 out of this world rockets to just create the distance. But vengeur, he's pushing And it looks like raisy is looking to chase this one down. 15 seconds. Can he actually chase him in time? Only one more read to make. raisy grabs the heavy while he can, but I'm not sure. I don't think he can find him.
I don't think he can either. He throws out a flame strike, but the clock ticks down. 3, 2, 1. There he is, but it's too late. And I don't know. We could play the what if game all along, Ketchup. I'm unsure if that rocket jump momentum through the teleporter feed would have made it over instead of hitting and falling down. If he would have been able to rotate quick enough. I do believe vengeur was rotating from the rocket launcher over to those back hallways, but either or. Give us more of these right here. vengeur finds himself up by 2, but that could have been anyone's game.
There was the real turning point in that 1-minute warning, and it was the 2-piece rockets. Again, we were looking at that through raisy's point of view, but checking it out from vengeur, how far away he snapped for that second rocket and accommodating for that much knockback from that far away is exactly why many people out there say that he's got the most impressive rockets in the world. Period. The end. Because what that did, yeah, the Rockets didn't score a frag, but what they did do is A, knock raisy away and create space, and B, make raisy weak that on the chase he's going to have to try and pick stuff up, which takes time. It makes him less likely to push you in. So it was the reward that didn't even need to be a frag, and then ultimately raisy did kind of go out of his way to collect some items as well. There's an element there of maybe he should have just gone all the way through, but when the pressure is on in that situation, there's a lot of what ifs, and it just turned out that that wasn't the right call.
Yep. We are going to be bringing back Lethal. Lethal,
I'm here.
What's up? What'd you think of that first game?
Hi, Harry.
If that was just the first map, then God knows what's going to happen in these other maps. But I said it even before the match even started. The fact that vengeur's a survivalist, you know, his survival rate is just incredible. That was a great example earlier on, especially during the later stages of that map. And raisy had such a huge stack, but vengeur had some fantastic rockets just to retaliate and just keep the stacks equal. And raisy just could not find an opening. No matter what he could do, everything he tried and just brought out some great ideas overall. But I must say, vengeur just played out of his mind to make sure he didn't let the same thing happen in the winners finals and Corrupted Keep again this time round.
I just looking at this replay. There's so much intense fights here. Sorry to cut you off. I'm just thinking out loud a bit.
Go for it. Go for it.
It's his ability to play around it. The flame strike denials were fantastic there from raisy, but ultimately vengeur and, gotta say, that disgusting LG keeping him forward by the end of the game, doing as much damage as he did with just shy of 50%. That is not too shabby.
There were definitely some nice dodges coming out there from vengeur, but you're right. I mean, raisy had a few spot-on missile-locked flame strikes that did a ton of damage. And but vengeur pulling it ahead, putting him now what, 2 games up
already, because we have that 1 map advantage. We can't forget, but a couple more of those and vengeur is going to be in business. And let's talk about this next map, folks. Awoken and Clutch coming out from raisy again. The Clutch did not work last time, but bit of a different champion matchup this time. vengeur going to be rocking the Ranger instead, so he's not going to have that kind of crouch slide, right? But he is going to have orbs, which can match mobility in some ways, but more importantly, I think, damage. And how raisy was using Clutch last time with that shield, he was rarely using it in like every fight, right? You're used to seeing a Clutch, the shield is up, they push, they use the shield, they get a frag. raisy was going in with just the regular stack, and he would use the shield when his armor was gone. And that was a new layer almost that I'm gonna say I'm not really used to seeing Clutch players do it when they exist.
Yeah.
We'll catch. Oh, we ready to hop in the next game? Lethal, you and I are going to be casting this one, so let's say thank you to Ketchup. Appreciate it. We will see you soon. Great job all weekend long, and let's get ready to hop into this second map here. Lethal, we're going on to Awoken, and we go from one pretty fast-paced map to another. Now, raisy, this would be a great time for him to pick up that first map. I mean, he needs it, right? First player to win 4 maps is going to be the victor, and now vengeur already up 2. Both players looking like they're playing out of their mind. Wouldn't be surprised if we go to another sudden death overtime.
I'm actually a bit worried for raisy. You saw that he picked up 28 items, still didn't take it. Don't get me wrong, vengeur tried his best to contest a lot of those items, but the fact he got all those items, all that stack, and couldn't really do much with it. It's very difficult to comprehend what he can do. But like you said before, it's got the clutch, and it wasn't the fact that vengeur let it slip in. He feels like he can actually tackle that clutch. It's all about baiting out that shield and trying to do everything he can to avoid it in order to try and tackle him down again before he picks up his hourglasses and get that shield back. Last time round, they played against each other in the winners finals, he had the strog, so he had a lot more mobility. He can get away if he was in a spot of bother or any kind of trouble. This time around he hasn't, but we'll see what he can do this time around with a slightly different champion. He's got the Ranger, so he does have the orb to do additional damage or maybe try and get out of a bad situation, but like you rightly said, vengeur's up 2-0 in this grand finals. Will he be able to extend his lead, or can raisy get his first map on the board? And we're going to be kicking things off from vengeur's POV, and rightly so after that performance from that last game, already picking up the LG and the rockets and just trying to see what raisy is going to be up to in terms of his shenanigans.
Yeah, vengeur grabs that mega and is going to assume that his opponent grabbed the heavy. He's got confirmation, but I expect similar to last game, kind of things settling, a player looking for an advantage moving in, but honestly already they're kind of throwing some blows at one another. Lethal gonna have a fight here over the heavy. We do see that shield pop, and that's really just gonna push vengeur back. He does not want to commit there, but he knows the shield's down.
Yeah, we said it's gonna be a slower paced game here. The orb's looking good though. Vengeur, he's not gonna go for the flanks, waiting for him to bait across, but raisy read that perfectly, knew that he was waiting for him at the TP. Raisy's gone all the way up to the tri-bolt area, which means that vengeur can grab that top mid control. One of the most important parts of that map, but decides to drop down and prioritize the heavy. Perfectly understandable, making the rotation towards the mega. We'll get it in time, and raisy puts up his shield, and great rail straight afterwards, get the first frag on the board.
Got that little bit of extra shield, and you can do a little bit extra, and that's exactly what we saw there. Raisy with a phenomenal rail to get that first frag on the board, but vengeur showing that that is not going to stop him at all. LG equipped, comes on out. Only thing that stops him is that great defensive rail coming out by raisy, and vengeur is pushed back. Raisy's going to be able to easily take this heavy without any contention, as vengeur once again run away low. Vengeur things, but this time raisy has a plan. He gets him with the LG, and now raisy finds himself in the lead by 2.
I'm surprised with how much map presence vengeur was showing after how weak he was. The shield comes out, but the rail's going to push him back. But how long for though? Vengeur hasn't got the best of stacks, but look at the stack of raisy. He's going to be taking this fight all day long. It's already been a couple of minutes. Vengeur needs to try and find an answer, but it's very difficult. Even with the orb, he's going to try and tackle it down. If he can, he doesn't. Extends his lead to 4. raisy needs to try and get on that recovery process, but finds vengeur straight away around the LG area. Does pick up the light, does pick up the health bubble, but look at this. vengeur still trying to do additional damage, but the rails from raisy just trying to keep vengeur at bay. Vengeur finally is still trying to do a bit more work, but raisy does get away for now, and now it's going to rotate round.
Really like what I'm seeing here so far from raisy. Feel like he's doing a good job with his mobility, his shield usage. And we got him coming back up for that mega. Is going to get pushed out of there. And this is actually the most hurt I think I've seen raisy throughout this entire matchup. He's quickly going to make the escape and disengage, trying to find some sort of health. Still at 84-14. That is not much of a stack. That's like a mini stack there. But as he gears up, knows heavy is up. It's grabbed by vengeur. There's a light and some more health in the background. So raisy, he can just kind of keep this pressure on, right? All of the pressure is on vengeur. And he needs to be able to find opportunities. Obviously, still plenty of time here in this matchup, Lethal. But what is he going to do?
Yeah, that's the real question. Raisy now just waiting for the next light to appear. vengeur though, massive stack. And even if raisy uses that shield, he may have been in a little bit of trouble. But things have changed dramatically here. It's going to be more of a patient game, just a game of chess, just waiting to feel each other out, trying to get any information as they can. And now he knows that vengeur's going to be coming through the telly. Good first rail. There's going to be backing away just to make sure Vengeur doesn't get too carried away, but the LG comes out, so does the shield. Will he be able to take down Vengeur here? The heavy is still up, but it looks like Vengeur's going to prioritize the frag, leaving the heavy. I think raisy assumed, but he's going to go towards the heavy and burn it before he gets taken down. He does not. And already Vengeur trying to keep him at bay. Good rail onto raisy. He's looking for the second, and I don't think raisy's going to give him the opportunity, but he is holding that top mid angle as Vengeur's now going to be coming back, and he's looking for blood.
I mean, so far, what we're noticing with raisy is that, well, first off, vengeur's not able to get in too many safe battles to pop the shield and disengage, so he's going right in, exactly like what we saw there. You know, we talked a little bit earlier about the way that raisy's kind of been using that clutch, whether it's my armor's depleted, pop that shield, whatever. But unfortunately, in most of the battles that have taken place, there's not been an opportunity for vengeur to do some damage, pop the shield, disengage, and then re-engage. That's partially because of the control that raisy's got. It was a great orb by vengeur to finally get on the board, but now down by 4, he's got to figure it out. Vengeur running and 2 great rails, and oh my gosh, make it 3. I was still on vengeur's point of view, and that was a sick thread of the needle off the spawn. Raisy can pop that shield. That's exactly what he does, but vengeur is back on the board, shrinking this lead a little bit, now only down by 3.
I love that from Vengeur. As soon as he used the shield, Vengeur was like, yep, I'm out of here. Now I've got an opening to try and challenge raisy. Once he picks up those hourglasses to try and get back that shield, but he can't yet. Raisy's still got too much of a stack, only 3 frags behind. But vengeur's picked up the heavy, so he can give himself some leeway coming through the telly to go towards top mid, but he's waiting for him. He has the shield again. Vengeur's dropped down. He knows that he couldn't take that fight, rather play to his advantage. Rocket comes down from raisy. Raisy's going to drop down from this, definitely, and looking like the fight's going to be coming into play. Vengeur didn't do too bad in that engagement, but raisy still came out on top, waiting for this next mega. Still has time to go contest the heavy, as Vader's gone straight away towards it. He's actually jumped up towards the rail instead, and now he's dropping down onto him, but he's already picked up the heavy here, and Vengeur still takes him down. Only 3 frags behind is the next 3.5 minutes.
Those rocket bounce, they're on vengeur's side on that one. It was a nice little bounce coming out there, follow up with the rail. Raisy's going to go in yet again, but vengeur hitting the shots he needs to hit, and now suddenly this went from a 4-frag game down to a 2-frag game. Vengeur very, very low, though, needs to be careful. He's got an opportunity to possibly try to find 1 additional frag, bring this that much closer, but here we go, coming in again. The shield is down, orb comes out, and raisy still has 15 seconds till that shield can come into play, and that's going to allow vengeur to land the rail and make this a 1-frag game. Now, next engagement, shield will be up, orb is down, raisy's going for it. Vengeur has to be thinking, when is this shield coming out? You're just kind of throwing the fridge at me. And raisy now has it available, but I think that was a great engagement coming out by vengeur.
Vengeur denied those hourglasses, and raisy was hoping mid-fight he can get that shield and then take it straight afterwards to vengeur. He couldn't. So vengeur did a good job keeping him back. Good rail from raisy. Misses the second, and he's coming in with the shield straight away, using that orb, but just baiting raisy to keep him at bay. Ooh. Great rail from raisy. Would have been able to clean him up, though. He's keeping it back with the rockets. For how long for? Not much long here. As raisy actually goes off the map straight afterwards, not expected at all. And vengeur now gets a good spawn, gets the mega. He's got the heavy machine gun. He can push this, no problem. Heavy's up in the next second. Whoever wins this fight's going to be huge. It will be in favor of vengeur. Picks up the heavy, and it's a tied game here,
I cannot even believe it. Raisy does spawn, gets that LG, runs over somehow. Vengeur still pulling out a frag. He's up by 1, but he is hanging on by a thread. He needs some health. He grabs himself an LG. Will go into the back hallway, and will find a couple hourglasses as well as some health bubbles. Then only got, railed in the back. Nicely done. Huge frag coming out from raisy, though. Out of the teleporter, shotgun to the back. We're tied 8-8, and we got 90 seconds left to go.
Raisy's got a huge stack, and he's got the shield. Of course, he's going to be coming in flying, but vengeur needs to get away. He can't just hover around. Great shotgun just to take the lead. And yeah, again, vengeur needs to back off. At least the stack's not as bad as it was earlier on. Vengeur's actually got up the jump pad. Want to be the cleverest of plays, but still, raisy increases his lead by 2. He has a minute left, and vengeur can definitely do it. Oh, so much damage. Actually makes him go over the mega. Picks it up in the end, but vengeur's got some leeway again. Has just picked up the heavy, and now he's got to get the weapons in his arsenal to continue this attack.
Venger's playing like he knows, like he's saying, hey, this is still winnable. He does find raisy. Rail landed. Can't land that second one. Would have been huge on the chase. Sees that the shield was popped. Has raisy down below. Is going to be able to get the frag. And has now made it a 1-point game yet again. 40 seconds left on the clock. Vengeur not looking super healthy. He's going to grab the Mega. Puts him in a good position to fight. But raisy with a big armor stack. No shield at all. raisy gets the LG kill. And that may seal it. Vengeur's going to have a hard time finding a frag. +1 for the end of this matchup. He's going for it though. Orb comes out, won't matter. raisy with the rocket launcher, and he is going to take game number 3 to stay alive. And we mentioned it, Lethal. He needed this one, right? He needed to pick one up to stop that momentum from Vengeur, and this is that start.
He certainly did. I will say for Vengeur though, he did a lot better contesting the items compared to the, what did I say earlier, like the 25 or 28 items in control from raisy on that last map. This time round it was much better, but still raisy came out on top. A few desperation plays from Vengeur, but he had to do it. He only had about a minute left. There was no way he could start playing it safe or playing with an element of caution.
26 points of damage between the two. Unbelievable. Let's bring Flea in, who will be casting with next. Flea, what'd you think of that map?
Another great performance by both of these players, right? I think raisy on the clutch is always going to be a spectacle to behold. It's going to be incredibly difficult for any player in the Pro League to try and counter that monster up against you. But Vengeur definitely did a more than serviceable attempt at foiling raisy this time around. I think his orbs were beautiful, on point and consistently clever, right? I personally, as far as I remember, I think it was Cypher who initially came up with these really good counterplays against Clutch way back in the olden days when the robot was first introduced to the professional level, at least. And now it's good to see how many players are starting to carry on that tradition. There's so much you can do with the Ranger Orb. Now, back in the day, you could just straight on still get an insta-kill despite the stack and the shields. Obviously, that's no longer the case, but still, there's so many neat little tricks you can do. Switch positions, throw the orb up while you jump down, and then immediately teleport up to basically burn out and delay the shield further. So Vengeur did a really good job at that. I wrote that down in my notes. Excellent orbs, but yeah, raisy on clutch remains raisy on clutch. And even though Vengeur came really close to adding another win to his repertoire, it will be the Hungarian monster who continues along now.
Lethal, as we are getting ready to start the next game here, we're waiting up for Vengeur. Deep Embraces the next map. This is the one I'm most excited for. Anarchy on Vengeur versus Athena from raisy. I haven't seen that many raisy Athena games, so pretty excited about that. But what are your thoughts on map number 4?
Well, I love how that raisy selected the Athena this time around. Before it was Vengeur back in the Pro League. I think it was week 12 or 13 whenever they matched against each other. But Athena has a lot of possibilities, a wide variety of strategies in order to use that grapple hook to either catch up on the opponent or contest some of these items. There's a lot to work with here. It's just a starting stack. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the backside, I think it's safe to say, especially on the spawn, depending on the spawn cycle and how it works, and then the coin flip on which way they are going to go. But yeah, raisy, I think if he gets off to a good start and full item control, then he can definitely excel and just extend his lead further. But yeah, it's very tough. It's very hit and miss with the Athena, I feel, on Deep Embrace.
And I think
thanks for casting alongside of this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Flea.
No, I was just going to say, and I think that nothing illustrates Lethal's point better than what we saw earlier today. Rafa playing Athena on this map against Cypher. What was the score? 24 frags for Cypher. That just illustrates how easily and how quickly that can get out of control. But back to you. We carry on.
No problem. We're just going to keep the moving along. So thank you, Lethal. Appreciate casting all weekend long. Phenomenal job. And we'll see you next time.
Nice. See you in a bit.
All right. Flea, map 4. Big momentum change here as we saw raisy take the last map. Really important. First player to 4 is going to be our new champion. I'm excited for this Deep Embrace. map.
You and me both. This is going to be sick. I can expect some high-octane, extremely fast, aggressive and energetic plays by both of these competitors. Now, as we just discussed, Athena, extremely powerful, can easily make her way from the bottom level all the way to the top. But on the other hand, as a light champion, she is vulnerable, especially to those spawn rails that you can often bait out. But the same thing, of course, can be said for the other champion, a light in his own right, and that is going to kind of equalize the positions of both of these players.
Yeah, I'm expecting that we're going to see pretty high energy, a lot of fast action on this one as well. This map in the Rafa-Raisy matchup was also a treat. Definitely go and check that one out. Came down to the final moments, and we are loaded into the map. We're going to get started here in just a moment. If you've just joined us, thanks for tuning in. Guess what? You missed a lot. It's the grand finals, and it's vengeur taking on raisy, two teammates that find themselves after playing in the upper bracket. Now again in the grand finals, it is currently a score of 2-1 in favor of vengeur, and we are now underway looking through the eyes of vengeur.
vengeur getting the rocket and the rail spawn over on the heavy side of the map, immediately looking to apply some pressure on raisy. He knows that all raisy's got to work with the LG. So when he can keep the high ground like that, it can work tremendously in his favor. But look at raisy. That is exactly the power of the Athena. Just like that, positions are swapped. Good rail from vengeur, but in the end, it is raisy who walks away with the first kill. But he is weak. He is tender, Wheat.
He is tender, and I'll tell you what, you talked about those rails that you can hit off the spawn. Raisy just barely misses one as vengeur spawned off of raisy's first frag, and I'm sure vengeur's very happy about that. Didn't miss that one, though. Launches him into the wall. Is going to follow up. There's some momentum with that grapple, and I already like what I see, Flea, out of this Athena. Look at the grapple to gain and close that distance into the rocket and the shotgun, and raisy with a quick 3 in the first minute.
Very aggressive and explosive opening that we're seeing. Now it will be vengeur who can pick up the mega health, but he's got nothing to work with in terms of weaponry. Basic machine gun, or rather the heavy machine gun, works out nicely nevertheless, as raisy fumbles the movement right there. Wanted to get close once again to finish off his opponent with the super shotgun, but kind of messed it up, and that cost him the frag. Doesn't really matter much though, because raisy is extremely aware of the fact that vengeur wants to get that railgun as soon as possible, knowing that he has the rockets in his hand, and that is all that he needed to continue to extend his lead.
That's so scary, seeing a grappled Athena just coming right for you with the shotgun out, because it results in what we just saw, 1-5 raisy, and just kind of playing Athena like she's got a lot more stacked than I think she actually does, and I like it. Don't get me wrong. 2 minutes into this one, vengeur not really hitting those rails as well as raisy. In fact, down by a couple. Raisy's been in control of our major items. He's been dealing a lot of damage that's gone unanswered. There we see the inject come out. It's going to allow vengeur to get away, but raisy is just closing the gap. He's really using the grapples more as a way to get closer to vengeur and try to finish him off. But we did see vengeur pick up another one. It's 5-2.
That was a bit of a misplay by raisy. He did exactly what you were just talking about, using the grapple to get closer, but then he sort of overshot his opponent, missed the shotgun, and then before you know it, positions are swapped, and it's vengeur who actually can just walk in, take away the mega, and get the free frag. And now vengeur looking solid. The railgun finally speaking for himself. Beautiful little flick there. Raisy does get the mega health, but he's got no armor to work with, and heavy is ages away. So vengeur is now on the prowl. He knows he doesn't have to worry about trying to secure an item just yet. Instead, he can focus all of his attention on trying to chase down raisy and dish out more damage. Here we go. He's going to find him. Yep.
Oh, nicely done. I was just going to comment that it's just really interesting how important those lights are as well. We see vengeur making sure to prioritize those pickups as he's racing around the map. And here he's got another LG lock here, switching over to the rockets, going through the teleporter, and raisy follows him, and vengeur gets the frag. It's now 5-5 and only 3 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock. This could be a pretty high scoring game at the rate at which it's going, Flea.
Indeed, it could be. Now, vengeur has to be careful. There's only 8 cells of ammo left in that lightning gun of his, so if he unsuspectingly takes a fight, trying to rely on that weapon, he's going to be in for one nasty surprise. Now, he knows exactly where raisy is. He also knows that he is significantly outstacking his opponent, so this is the perfect opportunity to apply pressure, as both players just narrowly miss one another with minimal damage being exchanged. Now this is a good opportunity for raisy, because there's barely 1 second in between Mega and Heavy, meaning that vengeur couldn't possibly collect both of them within quick succession. So as vengeur takes away Heavy, raisy has picked up the Mega and is now started to stabilize.
Yeah, and vengeur knows his opponent should be over by Heavy, so he goes over, starts to guard that back hallway, and does get a peek of raisy, but look at that speed and momentum, just getting out of there, no problem, keeping vengeur guessing here. He's tossed around that tri-bolt damage at all the places he thinks his opponent is, inject over the top, but misses the jump, knows that armor's coming up soon, tri-bolt damage coming out, LG from raisy, and I think that's going to give him the upper hand. It does, down to 10 points of health, raisy low himself, but he's got the armor stack, the Mega's up, and vengeur will be able to grab that. He does know that does not have an eject for another 30 seconds, so he has got to be careful here. Both players now about similar stacks, and we'll see what happens next, but we've kind of remained at a stalemate here at 5-5.
We had this exact same score nearly 3 minutes ago already, so that explosive opening has kind of died down. What was that? That was absolutely ridiculous. Vengeur completely caught off guard, almost getting the frag. raisy was left with literally 1 single point of health. But out of absolutely nowhere, just as we were talking about how we settled into this slower stalemate, raisy just pulls off that ridiculous maneuver.
I mean, you would think that the LG would be perfect versus something like that, but we just saw that that is not always the case. What is this? These rockets coming out from vengeur. He's going to tie us back up 6-6 as he kind of gets popped up into the air and then can finish it off from up above. vengeur coming out into, raisy and vengeur now meeting up in the teleport room. raisy doing a good job, again, closing that gap, but needs to be careful. We see the inject come out. Can vengeur finish it up? He can, and he takes the lead.
This aggressive grapple into the super shotgun has really been raisy's bread and butter, but it has been inconsistent to say the least. Yes, he's gotten a fair few frags by using that strategy, but he's also dropped a number himself. And now he eats a bad rail just before Heavy spawns that will be going towards vengeur. He might pay for it dearly as well. Or raisy messing up the
vengeur
jump.
Showed up to fight. Yeah, vengeur really showed up to fight. He is using every opportunity. I mean, I suppose with these 2 lights, it actually makes a lot of sense. But there we see raisy going in for another offensive grapple. Does get some damage off with that shotgun, but not enough to get the kill. He hears his opponent over by rail. And vengeur looking for the pop-off direct rocket. And he's going to rocket jump up, but raisy gets away.
3 minutes to go. Just as many frags left for raisy to make up. Keep in mind, this isn't the final map in this series just yet, but raisy is definitely under the most pressure since he is trailing behind. And now both players once again are making their way over to Heavy. Neither of them is really looking to let anything go for free, are they, Wheat? It's constantly both of them showing up for either one of these major items just to do some damage.
Exactly. I mean, the whole 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Now, the clock ticking away is going to put the onus on raisy to try to put some more pressure on vengeur. This would put vengeur at a 3-1 lead in terms of the series, and that could give him a possibility. Great rail coming up from raisy as he drops down to chase that frag. raisy very, very low, needs to be careful, but 2 minutes is still plenty of time, especially at the rate in which these two are playing.
It's also just the nature of the map, right? We've seen Rafa pull off, what, a 5 frag comeback in 2 minutes, so 2 is entirely doable, especially with rails like that. Hello, he's going to catch vengeur as well. Good read, and of course that hoverboard makes so much noise. Rocket off the spawn is going to hurt him dearly too. vengeur, can he steer clear from his opponent long enough to regain some stack? No, he cannot, and that is it. All tied up 9-9 with barely more than a minute left on the clock, Wheat.
And in a position, the heavy's going to go to raisy. Huge LG from vengeur, though. He could retreat back, grab that mega through the murder hole. He murders his teammate. vengeur takes the lead again, 10-9. It's a 1-frag game, 1 minute left on the clock. They've been bouncing back and forth, Flea, but can vengeur pick it up and solidify his lead in the series, or can raisy find a way to tag that 10th frag and tie this up and send us into another sudden death?
He very well might. Rushes over onto the heavy. Rockets are solid. Oh no, doing a lot of self-damage.
Oh.
Flashback to his match against Rafa in the previous stage finals, and now 30 seconds left to go. vengeur, 2 frags in the lead. All the pressure is on raisy. Loses out on the mega as well. Can he do it, Wheat?
It's tough at this point. 9 minutes, 42 seconds. Sees his opponent from the back. raisy not giving up, though. Does hit the shot. Has exactly 12 seconds to make something happen. vengeur spawns, grabs an LG off the spawn. I think that's actually going to be big, and puts himself into the corner. Don't hurt me, raisy. He's just going to hide until the final seconds, and it ticks to 10. And vengeur wins his 3rd map on Deep Embrace. 11-10. The difference in frags between these two is so narrow. Damage, once again, 47 damage separating these two. Absolutely wild. We are going to be bringing ZSX in just a moment. If you're here, ZSX, love to hear your thoughts on that one. There he is. Map 4 goes to vengeur.
There we go. This series is insane. I felt that raisy had the upper hand on strategy pretty much across all 3 maps. I've just never seen anyone hit as hard as vengeur. Like, damage he does without items and in the most random positions is mind-blowing. His mechanical skill. And again, Anarchy is a champion we've seen try to test it on this particular map and failed time and time again. And going up against Athena, which is the gold standard when played well, and yet he comes out on top again. I don't know what they put in the food in Italy, but it's remarkable.
Flea, before we say goodbye, your thoughts on this matchup and what we are seeing and what we might see on Ruins.
This is one of the greatest finals I think we've seen in the Quake Pro League. Both of these players are on absolutely phenomenal form right now. As ZSX just said, right? vengeur, how is he landing these shots? How is he managing to keep these things so close when raisy, just look at the stats once more, raisy was actually dominating him when it came to item pickups, but still, vengeur keeps it so close and actually edges out the win. I am at the edge of my seat. Wait, ZSX, I can't wait to see what happens next, because this is one that we really want to see through to the very final map.
Yeah, we've had 3 maps that have been separated by a frag. I mean, you can't call this any closer. And now we have at least 1 more map of more of the same.
And we're moving on to Ruins, where things might, chill a little bit, but we're still going to see the same display of skills. Flea, thank you very much. We're about ready to hop into our next map, and I'll be casting with ZSX. Thank you, Flea. We'll see you soon. And wow, I still can't believe how close this one has been, man.
We don't even need to commentate it. It's that beautiful to watch, but we're going to have to do our jobs, I'm afraid. We're going to have to entertain the people, or help amplify the entertainment for the people. But no, I mean, you've been left speechless. I've been sitting here with my mouth holding out. It's becoming dry at the moment, so it's just incredible, the level of skill.
It's true. And I mean, this actually, just as an aside, hard finals to commentate when there actually is so much happening in these short spurts of time. And you're like, wow, I really want to talk about that amazing thing that vengeur just did. And then raisy does something incredible. And it's just, we needed an extra 5 minutes of that matchup to truly point out just some of the incredible things that we had. One thing I am noticing about these 2 players in particular is their positioning is just out of this world, right? Really thinking about, from this spot, what can I hit? What can my opponent not hit? We saw it a lot on Corrupted Keep, even with the LG, the machine gun, saw it a lot on Deep Embrace, and I suspect we're going to see something similar on Ruins.
Yeah, 100%. Ruins is a map you can lock down a bit harder than all of the maps we played so far, but you're completely right. And this is why vengeur is so amazing. I mean, he self-proclaims that he practiced substantially with Kilson. Again, one of the other best players in the world at positioning and taking advantage of other opponents. But vengeur specializes in working out how can I do the most amount of damage to my opponent in the safest position. Very Cypher-esque in that way. And this is also why he struggled on the item pickups, because raisy will play that Pac-Man style, will rotate the items, but vengeur's molding himself around and saying, that's fine, you can take them, but I will punish you time and time again if you want to do that. I do think on Ruins he needs to be a bit better at taking at least one of them consistently, because if he gets locked out of Ruins, that's where he's in a lot of trouble.
Well, let's set the stage, because this is game point for vengeur. He wins this map. He is the new champion here for stage 3 of QPL. raisy must win this to force it to a 6th map, and then win that one to take it all the way to the end. The first player to 4 maps wins. vengeur's already up 3-1. He could end it right here. So raisy's tournament life, it is on the line. He has fought many times, been in this spot before, but this is definitely something new, because a Maestro boy is going to be grabbing that championship here for stage 3. We are officially underway as we move on to Ruins, and this time we're going to be kicking off once again through the eyes of vengeur.
Got his trusty rail playing the Nyx, and in context, obviously love the Nyx pick on this map. We've seen Kilson push it to the absolute limit. The effectiveness for Kilson comes through the use of the aggressive and more proactive ghost walks. But going up against a Visor, there's obviously that subtle counter involved, but more around how does raisy use that piercing sight to gain positioning and map awareness more than just chase down his opponent. And that's a great rocket to rail combo. vengeur's already on the ropes.
Oh, wow. vengeur. See, like, waiting there with 38 points of health, knowing that your opponent could come up that stairs or rocket jump is actually wild. Of course, raisy, he had plans after that first time didn't work out. It is now 0-1, and vengeur very low. He has got to be careful here. raisy already in the lead. 1 minute in, and he needs to compound this lead, ZSX.
He does, and it's a slow and painful death. He held onto the Ghost Walk to try and use it at time when it'd be more effective than just giving away his life. But already he's been caught once again without the Ghost Walk. And this is what we mean. It can get bad to worse. Nyx is obviously an amazing champion, but she's incredibly weak off the spawn, and even more so without her ability. He needs to stop this snowball week, because 3 frags on Ruins is a game-winning score.
It absolutely is. I mean, we bring in the defense factor on this one. Not only has raisy been playing a great defensive game in terms of the way he's railing, the way that he's hitting his rockets, raisy with another one, but also the fact that he can just kind of sit back and play a game of chase. He's got vision. He can use that to his advantage here. And I mean, Kilson kind of ruins Nyx a little bit, because he seems to have these perfect ghost walks every time. And then you're just like, I don't know why every player doesn't do that. But it also goes to show how important that decision-making is when using that, how you're going to use it offensively, defensively. You don't want to be caught with your pants down. And another frag. What is his rail accuracy right now? You want to take a guess? Too bad. 70%. 7 of 10 hit. Boom, free rail. That's exactly what he's looking for, and why these players are choosing Visor in these matchups. raisy grabs the Mega, and now we'll actually go back up the stairs.
Yeah.
He's going to move around. Yeah, I actually thought he might run into vengeur there. I think vengeur thought he might have gone down below, but won't trick him. raisy up by 5. That seems like a huge amount. It does take a while to climb back 5 frags on Ruins.
It does, but vengeur's done his job of unlocking the map now. He's got position on one of the major items. You can see raisy not separating them, content at this point even to defend his lead. And Amazing rail once again, and that's been the story of this map so far. It's just the consistent damage of rails on the defense, and every single one will just offset the aggression from vengeur. He's been spotted. He's trying to hide, but it's not going to work.
Oh my gosh, it's like an elephant trying to hide behind a light post there. Just definitely seeing raisy gets a 6th frag, and vengeur is got to be going back to the drawing board on this one. We're 4 minutes in, and raisy's rail continues to be brutal. 69% with 9 of 13 shots. He's also got an equally impressive LG at 43%. He's controlling those items well. He has 5 heavies, 8 megas to the 3 heavies and 0 megas of vengeur. And on top of that, he's doing about twice as much damage.
Yeah, but vengeur is laying the foundation for a comeback in terms of map control. As I say that, the proactiveness of raisy here, the awareness that vengeur has nowhere to be seen, incredible to get up there. He should have expected vengeur to be taking that item, but he knew he was going for the light first. That bought him a window of opportunity, and you can feel that raisy's already in this defensive mode. You see him playing from major item to major item. He's also aware the Ghost Walk's coming again. Amazing map awareness. The turnaround on the rockets. LG comes out. There's no stack for vengeur to work with.
Wow.
And as I was saying, it was on the road to comeback. Raisy says, "Nah, bro. This is my map."
It was a great read from raisy, but off the spawn, actually. vengeur getting more damage than I think raisy had anticipated there. A big hit. raisy grabs the mega, so he's back in this, but what a exchange that was. I think he thought he was going to be able to convert that frag, but it didn't quite work out for him. Back down to the heavy. Rockets coming out, but vengeur's LG finally lets him get on the board. 1-7. There is still a lot of time, and raisy going to go after vengeur, knowing that he's still low despite having picked up that heavy. Now it's all on vengeur. He's got a heavy load of rocks on his back. He's got 6 frags in order to make up, just to tie this up, and we're halfway through this game. raisy pops his piercing sight. It's going to have to slow down vengeur just a little bit, but he needs to speed this up and make something happen right here.
But let's look at the context, raisy is on a champion that has no defensive or maneuverability capabilities. It has the piercing sight, great. But if Nyx wants to chase you down, there is nothing in your arsenal beyond your aim that's going to stop her. So long as vengeur keeps control of this map and sets up these traps, I am telling you this comeback is possible.
Well, he's already started it as one step of a 6-step program, down to 5. Less than 4 minutes left to go. vengeur going to hang out here in the middle area. Great spot to be listening for those cues. Up the jump pad, raisy goes. Rail lands. They exchange. The nail spam coming out, but raisy playing the... Gosh, just...
Would he go for the heavy?
Just really awesome match. It's really incredible seeing these two.
Yeah. They're both playing at absolute highest level. raisy exchanging rails once again. He's trying to hit the Nyx, the smaller of the champions. Doesn't really matter when you're at that level. He hits anything and everything, but the rotation is strong. 8 seconds to split. Gives plenty of time for vengeur to make his way between the 2 items. He's caught raisy here down in the gutters, chasing him down. He's got the rail out, which is the wrong weapon. He's got the Ghost Walkers, he needs it, but no, he doesn't even need to pop it. He'll know exactly where raisy spawns, which is the far side of the map. Chasing him down, 1 rail, rocket, but no, the machine gun stops him.
That is really unfortunate. He was 25 HP away from yet another frag. That would have really changed a lot, but the clock ticks, and raisy kind of gets a free pass on this one. Mega is back up. raisy can't just start playing willy-nilly, but it was big that he was able to get that frag off of vengeur's score. We've got 2.5 minutes left, and vengeur gonna be pushed to the wall yet for another map here if he cannot pick up a few more frags for the scoreboard.
Yeah, that frag was so important, not just from a pure gameplay point of view, just from a momentum point of view. When vengeur was getting into his stride, and now you can see raisy's back in it. He said a couple of good rails. Yes, vengeur has both items, but his stack isn't there because of the 2 rails that raisy has managed to follow up with. vengeur's on the push once again. The Ghost Walk is up, but raisy using his audio cue smartly to reposition and find the best angle of attack. He wants to play this rail game. He doesn't want to get dragged into any messy close combat situations. He wants to be setting the traps.
Moving on into the middle area. vengeur turns tail. Wow, double rail come out. 90 seconds. 4 frags off the spawn. Nicely done.
Nice.
Sitting in the middle. Getting that spawn out there. Didn't quite clean it up. But let's see if he
Fake
can
rocket
chase this
jump.
one down.
Raisy's not falling for it. He's going to stay in that room until vengeur pushes it. As soon as he hears it, he doubles back. There's no rockets on vengeur. So it's purely going to be lightning gun and rail. And you can see Raisy trying to squirm out, and he manages to do so for now. And that wastes so much precious time in this comeback week.
Yeah, oh yeah, huge amount of time. And at this point, every second is huge. It's like watching my favorite movie, but the ending, like the last few minutes are really bad, and I don't like them because that's exactly what vengeur is experiencing right now. You know, having a good game.
Nice.
There's another great frag, 50 seconds. Can he string something together? I think that it is next to impossible, and we're going to be going to a game number 6, but I'll never say never with these two guys.
No, I mean, that one frag alone wasted a minute. Raisy's just running in circles. I cannot even tell you how frustrating this must feel for vengeur. And we just have to reflect on the early stages of this game. The momentum, the pressure that Raisy set down when he got that snowball effect and picked up, I think it was 5 frags back-to-back, all in the space of a minute and a half. And look at the scoreline, 8-5. If vengeur found a way, and this is the problem with Nyx, if vengeur found a way to prevent 2 or 3 of those frags, completely different game. But it was enough to see Raisy through in this one.
Completely agree. Yeah. And I mean, that's how a lot of the Quake games go these days, right? Like, make those moves. Sometimes those small mistakes can give up matches. But in this particular case, vengeur loses and puts Raisy now one step closer. It is 3-2 in map score. And we're going to be bringing 40 in. 40, hopefully you've been watching this matchup. I know you've been sitting on those
Cheesecake?
hands. Just, yep, eating cheesecake.
A lot of cheesecake.
Yeah, what'd you
You
think?
know me, Wade. So the last 8 maps these two have played, that was the biggest score difference. 3 frags, if that tells you anything about these two. Absolutely insane set so far. Raisy heating up just when he needs to. And I mean, look, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here, but what better way to end this entire thing than if we see a game 7?
Yeah, I don't think vengeur wants that to happen because
he doesn't, but
you've got that flexibility. You've got some room to maneuver, make some mistakes, maybe play, you know, in an unorthodox way. I don't know, but I would love to see it go to 7-2.
It's going to be good. Can your heart handle it, 40?
No, of course, you
No.
know that. I
All
can
right.
barely walk up the stairs, Dan.
I'm on
That's why
standby.
you have to carry me everywhere.
Yeah, that's why my back hurts.
8-5. Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't blame you, you poor thing. I have no idea what the next map is. But
The next map is Molten, where we're going to have vengeur playing on the Slash, and Raisy is going to be on the BJ.
This was where I was a
mean-
little bit worried with the Slash pick. I think it's just so damn strong on that map.
I feel like the mobility might be able to just crush the Blazkowicz here, but it really depends on vengeur still playing safe. Even though he has the mobility and he could traverse the map at will, he cannot run into that dual-wield shotgun. It'll just obliterate a light champion.
I mean, on the same token, I feel like Raisy, again, we talked a little bit about positioning, how Raisy and vengeur have both been smart on that. Molten, super important. There's so many different situations where landing that one rail can suddenly put vengeur way back, having to get a stack if he's ever going to want to engage again. So I'm certainly curious. I do think vengeur has a lot more ability to clasp onto control here, but Raisy's aim has been bonkers. We've commented on some of these rails that we've seen, equally impressive stuff coming out of vengeur, but you know, I still think it's either or here.
Yeah, I think this is going to be reminiscent of the way, if Raisy wants to play at this, the way Rafa shut down, I think it was Cypher on Molten, when he absolutely just controlled that rail area, controlled the choke points, didn't let to Cypher in. And that's what you want to do against this Slash. You want to play it slow and steady, control the rail if you can, manage the choke points, because then, as you said, 40, if she charges into you and you're ready with the dual wield, you can just blow her up. But at the same time, if you're pressing out into open areas, she can fly on in when you're not ready and get a hold of you. So you need to manage those audio cues, make sure your positioning is always ready for any attack. It's incredibly hard, it's incredibly taxing, but he has to do it if he wants to stay in the event.
All right, we are ready For map number 6, Molten Falls is where we're going. Dan, we'll see you in a bit. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. 40, it is you and me, and this could be it. But raisy keeping himself alive basically almost all the way down. He was down 2 games before he picked up his first map. And then, of course, vengeur came back, and now raisy answers. Will vengeur close it up, tie it up right here, or will we go to map number 7? That is the question we're about to answer.
About 10 minutes from now, we'll have that answer, but it's just so exciting, Wheat, that we're watching history in the making. I mean, both these players are relatively new to the entire franchise. Before, you know, you had Kilson, Cooler, Rafa, just legends in their own right. But right now, we are going to have new blood lift that title and get their name etched into history. You got to love it, Wheat. It's fantastic.
It is a very fantastic. On top of that, just the caliber of Quake and skill that we have seen throughout all 3 days of QuakeCon at the QPL World Championship has been unparalleled. From the challenger matches to the round of 16, today's 2 semifinals, yesterday's quarterfinals. It just felt like every game, every player was giving it their all, and we certainly got to benefit from some great Quake all weekend. But we're not done yet. vengeur has the chance to finish it off right here. raisy's going to keep it alive. Make some noise in the chat. Tell us who you want to win, because we're going live. 40, take us away.
vengeur starting off here on that heavy spawn, making his way straight to the rail. We are going to see a lot of those pop off, Wheat.
We are.
Exactly if he's going to get caught out here already, trying to do his best to double back and try and protect this rail as quickly as he can. It's already in raisy's hands. Bit of a standoff here as raisy will finally disengage down the jump pad.
And smart move. I think that is the way to go. vengeur is going to pick up another rail. And I think speed is something that raisy is definitely thinking about. He's going to pop on over to the other side. The heavy is there. Rail poised for a shot from vengeur. Is he going to take it, 40? Look at how careful raisy is being, and here we go. Trail coming out. vengeur's like, all right, I don't like this stalemate. I'm going to grab it, going for it. Now going to make his way over to the Mega. He grabs it up, and raisy is landing all of his rockets. He's so very low, but both players have to disengage, and we do not get our first blood frag.
So close, but vengeur didn't have any rockets. He had to believe in the LG, and he almost got the job done, but raisy just a little bit too much health to burn through. But a great first initiation from vengeur there. This heavy will be free because of all the damage he did, as raisy is licking his wounds, trying to play as slow as possible to stay away and restack even more.
For how much time was spent over that rail room, we've yet to see one happen here, and I don't know, maybe we won't. Like, we're just watching vengeur just so fast through all this. There
What
we
a
do
rail.
see rail finally coming out from vengeur, and that's going to push raisy away and potentially allow vengeur to pick up that heavy yet again. Probably going to split it off, and frankly might be able to get over to the Mega fast enough, as here he goes up the jump pad, and actually raisy comes around to the other side. He's going to get this clean.
I think that's the second cycle in a row so far where raisy has had to concede completely. He was waiting for the perfect opportunity and almost perfect timing on that dual wield, catching vengeur out in the banana, but just a little bit too preemptive with the rockets here, as vengeur just wants to take the fight, and he will melt him down in the rail room. Caught him slipping, Weed. Again, the speed of Slash. You might not expect it. raisy's going for a ride as he rides the lightning, and vengeur popping the bird. He might get another one here. Big defensive rocket from raisy to keep him out. Can he get the Mega?
He's going to try to contest it at least. Rockets being fired down. A little bit of damage is done, and he's going to go for it. Grabs it. raisy gets away with it, but still a little hurt. Got to be careful because vengeur spawned near the rail room. One shot could end raisy. He's going to make his way over. He does grab a little bit more health, so now a bit safer. vengeur, though, grabbing that heavy, and we're keeping this one close still, 40. 2-1 vengeur in the lead. Speed coming in big around the corner. Huge rocket into the ass of BJ. And finally, vengeur's able to find another one here using that speed yet again. He came around the corner, completely surprised raisy. Dual wheel comes out. vengeur with the finger. He's out of here. And this is a very interesting game, but vengeur up by 2, and that scares me a little bit here for raisy.
Yeah, danger zone here. Good defensive play to get this heavy. raisy's going to need that, but vengeur doing a good job of not really getting caught out too much here. Heading to the body count, trying to play for this Mega. And raisy looks like he's conceding here. Maybe we'll be able to get some exit damage here as he finally gets in on some rockets. Here's the jump pad, trying to find a rail, and that rocket will sail right by vengeur as he presses on with a little bit of LG. And now he doubles back to try and play for this heavy and cut off at the rail room. Will the rocket land? It does, but he still makes it through the telly. I thought that could have been a ring out right there. Dual wield coming out from raisy. Good LG from below from vengeur, and get another heavy in his pocket.
Another rail coming out. Is he going to chase on this one? vengeur just playing to the items, trying to deny everything from raisy. I mean, look, raisy so often is not having an armor stack. vengeur's still got to be careful, though. Up that jump pad he goes. A little bit of LG damage. There's a light coming out for raisy, and vengeur is going to disengage on this one. But vengeur's having no problem just moving in, grabbing heavy, grabbing a mega, and then just getting out of there, too. He's going to barrel in this yet again. Grabs that heavy, but this time, raisy landing some beautiful shots, but the defensive rail from vengeur, and he somehow gets them before raisy can take him down.
raisy almost had that frag. Great rail, but it's going to be before the mega, so raisy's going to be A-okay. 4-1 in the items wheat. 13 for vengeur, 5 for raisy. As vengeur just using that mobility so well, sniping all of the items he can, and now he might get another heavy. Danger zone here as raisy drops over, might just eat a rocket, but instead dodges it. This is going to be a dangerous heavy for raisy as he pays the price. Big rockets into rail. vengeur serving up damage family style, wheat.
80, 80, 90 rail. What a combination here. Peeking over that lip and getting the job done. vengeur extends his lead yet again by an additional frag, making it 5-1. And at this point in time, vengeur has the championship in his eyes. He's looking for it. He's hungry, but so is raisy. He's going to do everything he can to stop it. He's just looking for an opportunity, gain that frag back, and see if he can get some ground here on Molten Falls. Just under 5 minutes left to go. LG battle just outside of Mega. And once again, vengeur wins it. Looks pretty good after that battle 40, and it is now 6-1.
Yeah, mega right after that LG on LG battle, 6-1, as you said, 6 minutes in. vengeur feeling it, heating up, looking to close this out as a vengeur trying to make some defensive rockets happen, going up the jump pad, taking a rail from raisy, who came barreling in. At this point, he's got to start doing a little bit more and more risky maneuvers here. vengeur holding true on top of this jump pad, making sure raisy doesn't aggress. It'll be a free LG beat on him if he does, and using the trail to escape through the rail room now and try and set up for this next heavy.
7 minutes really scares me, right? 7 minutes in, that's where I'm starting to get pretty scared here for raisy. He does hit a very nice rail. I feel like he needs this right here. He still can't get it. vengeur getting away with 5 points of health. There's the chase. LG comes out. raisy gets the frag. That 7 minute mark, even with 4 frags, playing against an opponent like Slash, that is scary. That I would not want to be up against that. It's got to be crazy frustrating. It has got to be hard to chase those down, but he needed that frag there. raisy really needed that to try to put something together, and there's that 7 minute mark. vengeur, is he just going to start the race that there is no way raisy can even compete in?
Less than 3 minutes until we crown vengeur the champion, and he has the mobility, as you mentioned. So if you're raisy, not only do you have to guess right, you have to be able to catch vengeur, and especially when he's still hitting defensive rockets. Wheat, vengeur just added another one, 5 frags for raisy. This is becoming insurmountable here, and vengeur getting closer and closer to getting his name etched on that belt.
The championship is in sight for vengeur. He has improved so much over stage 3. raisy's going to try to bring out the dual wheel, but it's not going to happen. And raisy is going to say,
Wow.
GG. He understands what he is up against at that moment in time. And look at that face of vengeur right there. That is a face of relief. That is a face of disbelief. That is probably a proud face as well. He said he was going to need a week to decipher what has happened over the last 3 days. But vengeur has won it. He is the champion for stage 3. It is huge. Big props to raisy for his performance to this tournament, but vengeur absolutely deserved it. Just demolishing through that upper bracket, going into the grand finals with that 1 map advantage and having to fight his teammate a second time. Maestro was going to win either way, but vengeur is your stage 3 champion.
I don't think he wanted it any other way. He wanted it the entire time. Every time we talked to him during the regular season, he'd be like, you know, I'm improving my game. I want it. I know what I need to do. And he just came out and proved it. Talk is cheap. He used everything in his arsenal. He dug deep, and he finally did it. Congratulations, vengeur. You're an absolute beast, and it's just a pleasure to watch.
You know, Dan kind of called it, and we can bring Dan back. He kind of called it and said, I'm worried. He was the one, he was the concerned mom that's like, I don't think this is a safe place for raisy, and it wasn't. Vengeur had a solid handy control over that map. ZSX, what do you think?
Forza Italia! What a year for Italy, man. Eurovision, Euros, QuakeCon World Champion. That's the icing on the cake for Italy right there. He's going to be knighted, he'll be celebrated in the streets. But no, I mean, seriously...
You get knighted in Italy?
I don't know. It becomes the Caesar or something. But either way, he's like, what a deserving champion. Like, if it wasn't Rafa, I'm so glad it's vengeur. I've obviously done a lot of... I know him extremely well. Like we do analysis together, and I know how much this means to him and how much work he's put in and how close he's been for so long. And to finally do it on this stage, it is the prophecy. And I am just so happy for how far he's come and for the new era of Quake, because we all talk about the old legends and the toxics, but he brings something different. He brings